Oh, Diddy, Diddy, Diddy. You'd think prison would finally give this guy some privacy. Apparently not. Even behind bars, someone still has their ear against the door. Seriously, does this man have anything left that isn't public? And naturally, 50 Cent got his hands on the details, because embarrassing Diddy has basically become a full-time job for him, and Curtis has perfect attendance.
Like all these years, you've been the only one calling this out.
I look like I've been the crazy guy for a long
They
time.
said you're a hater. They said
You're a
you're crazy.
hater. You're do this. Yeah, and now everybody's complaining. My ass is hurting. There's all this is coming.
50, you can't make jokes about it.
No.
The internet might come for you, bro.
All I'm saying
They
is,
might come for you.
you see it now. All of these complaints. People were damned. They were and pillaged. This is what was going on, right? And what do I get for the? I went through years of a hater. You're a hater. You want this and that. I'm just watching. Like I look at things and go, when you see the new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay, I go, oh shoot, like.
But Gene is a whole different case because he's been sharing some seriously disturbing Diddy stories for years, and people called him bitter, accused him of being crazy, and said he was just exploiting an old job. Meanwhile, Diddy kept piling up lawsuits like frequent flyer miles. And recently, Gene brought up a story so bizarre that I had to hear it twice just to make sure I hadn't imagined part of it. And considering everything we've already heard about Diddy, getting me to think there is absolutely no way this actually happened takes a lot. I'm not even going to spoil this one for you. Just listen to Gene.
We get to the courts. Me and Puff stops in the Central Park, and we walk towards the boathouse. And I'm wondering where we going, bro. You know what I'm saying? We're in the park. I'm wondering where we going. And as we going towards the boathouse, I look in the distance, and it's this man in all black. He's in all black. And he turns, and it looked like he had the white collar. I couldn't be sure. I couldn't be positive, but it looked like he had the white collar, because Puff said, yo, Gene, stay right here. And I stayed right there, and he kept on walking. So when Puff get directly to the dude, he gets down on his knees. When he gets down on his knees, this man takes something, and it seemed like it had smoke in it, and he started doing it around Puff. And then he went back and forth, and then he went up and down with it, sideways with it, then back around him. And then he put it down, and then he put his hand on Puff's head, and I guess he started, I don't even really know what he said, but I couldn't tell what he said. You understand what I'm saying? Long story short, I see Puff reach into this case. And when he reached into this case, he came out, and you could see something white in his hand. I didn't know it was a bird. I didn't know what it was at first. But he threw it up in the air. And when he threw it in the air, the came straight back down like it was a brick and said, bow, on the concrete. And I was like, oh, that was a dove. That was a bird. Puff just got up. Puff just looked at the dude and just started walking towards me. And I was like, oh, and he's getting closer, and he's getting closer. As he's getting closer to me, in my mind, in my cynical mind, I'm just like this. I'm thinking about Jason. I'm thinking about Damien and all that shit like that. And that nigga he just walked past me. He didn't even say nothing like, come on, Gene, let's go or nothing. He just walked past me, and I just started walking with him. And I just said to myself, that nigga's Damien.
Okay, hold on for a second. We already knew this man was cruel, narcissistic, and allegedly involved in all kinds of disturbing behavior. We even heard about his bizarre situation downstairs. But rituals? Actual satanic rituals? Excuse me, when did this story suddenly change genres? I swear, every time you think you've heard the most outrageous Diddy story, somebody pulls out another one from under the mattress. What's next? Is Gene going to tell us he's Santa Claus too? At this point, I honestly wouldn't be surprised. You know me, once I catch the scent of a mess, I'm going straight in. So did you really think I was going to hear the words Diddy and satanic ritual in the same sentence and simply move on? Please, I have responsibilities. Naturally, I started digging around, and look what crawled out of the internet. A former Satanist. Well, a former Satanist according to him, because apparently that's a sentence we're saying today. And he's got quite a bit to say about Diddy.
As a former Satanist, warlock, what is the spirit, the demonic spirit behind the Diddy?
Jezebel.
Talk about it.
Jezebel is a spirit. When I was in Santeria, right, Ochun. Ochun is the goddess of they call it the goddess of the ocean, the goddess of the river, I'm sorry. And she was the mother of the gold, the honey, right? That's how they described her. But she was Jezebel. Because when Ochun came down to a powerful medium, they had to bring a goat, represents a male, right? They tied the goat's mouth and they castrated him in front of her, alive. In other words, I took your manhood. And then the blood and all that, they do rituals with them. Don't need to get into that whole stuff. But that's what they do, right? So Diddy has a Jezebel spirit. Controlling, manipulative, dominating, okay? Diddy doesn't know the difference between man and woman anymore. All these men that he slept with, all these men that he did, took the manhood, it was to take your manhood. To make you, what he made him after he took the manhood, he made him an Ahab. See, that was the devil's doing. The devil said, these are the contracts, fulfill the contracts, all these contracts, and I give you all this power. Right? Did he fulfill the contracts? The contracts are done. There's no more contracts to fulfill. Within the politic world, the movie world, the sport arena world, he did all the bidding. He did all the bidding. And you got people that, LeBron James, according to the situation, got name tag him. I'm not gonna tag some man's name on my body.
Yeah.
That means ownership. Ooh. The devil tagged you to say, I own you, ownership. Okay? He has ownership. The actors and movie stars that he took your manhood. The freak off party, it's not a party. It is transfers of spirits. So you open your body to the drugs that's going on there. We saturate your body to open your body to put demonic spirits in your body, because the next person, that's what the Bible says, outside of marriage is a sin. Why is it a sin? Because of two reasons. It brings premature death, not spiritually, physically, if you catch AIDS or you catch a disease, brings premature death, right? And the other one is transfer spirits in you, all kind of spirits. If that person was a whoremonger and slept with people that had bipolar, slept with people that were depressed, oppression, addiction, those spirits now I own part of that. Timeshares. Spiritual timeshares.
Wow.
I own some of those spirits.
Wow.
So in the freak-off parties, that's what they did. So now the devil said, the contracts are over. I don't have any more contracts for you. That's why you see Cardi B.
Yeah.
She's freaking out. She's catching meltdown. Katy Perry, meltdown, makeup, meltdowns. I don't want to do this anymore because the pressure's on for new contracts. So Diddy's the display that the devil's putting on display. Say, see, I'm done with him. I don't need him more. Now I'm going to destroy him. Right? Because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Remember, mark my words, it's going to happen. The devil don't want to give him any new contracts. Now that brings fear into Hollywood. That brings fear into the music business. Am I next? Am I the one that's going to be exposed next? Am I the one that's going to be put on display? Am I the one the devil's going to take out? So the devil said, no, I won't take you on one condition. Give me new contracts. Here's a new contract. Do this, do this, do this. Now they have to do it. They have no choice. So it's a demonic kingdom operating in fear, operating in stronghold bondages by one person. One person, think about it. How can one person affect all these people if you don't have the devil behind?
Unbelievable.
Look at all the people that he affected, that he came to his parties, okay? And the devil said, record them, because those are my contracts.
You can call it a conspiracy theory, a coincidence, a huge question mark, whatever you want. But guys, let's not sit here and pretend that everything we've already heard about Diddy has sounded completely logical. Logic packed its bags and left this story a long time ago. And Key has his own little contribution to this whole Diddy ritual situation too. Although at this point, I'm not even sure ritual is the right word anymore, because Key claims Diddy and Key's ex-girlfriend drugged him with horse tranquilizer instead of Wait, horse tranquilizer? Excuse me, are we partying or are we trying to take down Secretariat? These people are seriously unhinged. It seems like even Hollywood started taking a sinister turn, and what happened next is something you'll have to hear directly from Cool himself.
I felt set up because it just didn't feel right. Like everybody was with their piece, and my girl at the time was upstairs, whatever she was doing. You know what I'm saying? While I'm under the influence, I could have like died in my sleep. Not to get dramatic like that, but I thought I was taking ecstasy. I didn't know I was about to fall out and go to sleep like that. I could have like had a heart attack or anything because that pill was very, very, very strong. As you can see, when I woke up, people say, oh, he's not sweating and this and that in the video. Well, I was sweating. Like I said, that's 7 hours later. So if I jumped in the pool with my shirt on and laid there, of course, if you guys checked on me immediately, I would have looked wet, like from the pool. But that's 7 hours later, you know what I'm saying? Like, so how 7 hours later I'm still soaked, in sweat? You know what I mean? Like paranoid. Then I go and I say sacrificial. When I talk about sacrifice and all that stuff, to me, it felt like I was being harmed. And I use the word sacrifice because that's what it felt like. You know what I'm saying? Being in the dark for that long and then waking up out of my sleep to someone screaming. And then it looks like, I looked at the video, it looks like his hand went across my my private area and stuff. It just looked very, very, all that shit just looked weird to me, man. And it just felt wrong and I felt violated. And I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask to be hazed. I was the youngest one there. I was in that man's residence. You know what I'm saying? Like I was under his what is it called? I was under his supervision. You know what I'm saying? That's his place. When you saw me losing my mind, y'all should have like called the ambulance or something instead of putting me to sleep to try to like calm everything down. I mean, it just could have been so much better. I mean, I would have felt so much more comfortable if it was done a different type of way, but I feel like it was just all set up and stuff, man. And now I have to go to mental health every month and get a shot in my arm and shit like I told you earlier because I dealt with trauma of someone trying to hurt me when I got home. I started hearing voices in my head from the effect of the horse tranquilizer pill. I started hearing voices in my head and the voices were telling me that, not to sound extreme, but that's what the voices said, that Puff was going to kill me or they were going to kill me. I thought everybody that were down there that laughed in that video were trying to hurt me. And it might sound kiddie-ish to y'all, but to me, at the time, I was 21, and my mind still wasn't developing into a man.
When I first heard this story, it felt oddly familiar, and then I realized exactly what it reminded me of. Justin Bieber. You see, Justin was also under Diddy's influence for a period of time, and we definitely watched that young man go through some incredibly dark moments himself. Excuse me for pointing this out, but the guest list in the trauma department is getting pretty crowded. One person tells a story like this, fine. Maybe it was a terrible experience, a coincidence, being in the wrong place at the wrong time, or Mercury being in retrograde. Pick your explanation. But it's not just one person. It's not even two. There are numerous people who crossed paths with Diddy and later spoke about or visibly experienced some seriously disturbing situations. At a certain point, coincidence starts doing way too much unpaid work. And Diddy, I'm starting to think this man isn't getting nearly enough attention for just how many messed up stories somehow have his name sitting somewhere in the footnotes.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
A 2022 interview with Justin Bieber has resurfaced following Diddy's legal troubles. In the interview with Zane Lowe 4 years ago, Justin wasn't directly discussing the disgraced media mogul. Instead, he opened up about his past trauma in the music industry, changes to his album, and adjusting to life as a newlywed with his wife, Haley.
I think that I was just, living in this shame, living in all this sort of stuff of my past, and I wasn't able to move on.
Discussion around the video comes after Diddy and Justin also resurfaced across social media recently. The clip shows Diddy alongside a teenage Justin, leading some people to speculate about whether the pop star may have been subjected to Diddy's alleged freak-offs during that period.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time.
You're going to hear about my party. They're going to be shutting them down. They're going to probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we want to have a good time.
During the Zane Lowe interview, Justin became emotional and broke down in tears while discussing his desire to protect Billie Eilish, who had quickly risen to superstar status at the time.
I just wanted to be a good example, and it was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. I just wanted to protect her, I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
As for Justin's thoughts on the allegations surrounding Diddy, a source told ET that Justin isn't paying attention to what's happening with Diddy or the accusations against him. You'd think all these stories would be enough to keep Diddy behind bars for good, right? Apparently not, because somehow they don't seem to be quite as convincing to Trump as they do to everyone else. In fact, Trump has even entertained questions about the possibility of pardoning Diddy. At this point, Diddy is collecting allegations, lawsuits, and bizarre stories like they're Pokemon cards, and somehow we're now discussing whether this man could receive a presidential pardon. America really does know how to keep a gossip columnist busy.
News coming to us from the White House. Sources tell CBS News President Trump is considering a pardon for Sean Diddy Combs. The music mogul is currently serving a sentence of just over 4 years in federal prison. You'll remember he was convicted on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution last year. We've also learned the president is likely to pardon some pollution violators. All this is fresh information from our team. So let's jump to CBS News White House reporter Olivia Rinaldi, who's on the North Lawn of the White House for us today. Olivia, good morning. What can you tell us about these potential pardons and who may be among them?
Hey, Errol, good afternoon. It's good to be with you. Yeah, President Trump is actually having a meeting today in the White House behind me where he will be discussing a slate of potential pardons. And CBS News has learned that one potential name that has been coming up is Sean Diddy Combs. We're told the president has not made a decision yet on whether or not to pardon Combs for those crimes, but it is something he is considering. Some of the other pardons they are thinking about are people who were convicted of emissions and clean air related violations. There has been a flurry of activity in the last several weeks of people lobbying for those pardons. The president had even potentially discussed doing several hundred pardons in the U.S., of course, that 250th anniversary, which we are all celebrating today and tomorrow. But still no word yet on whether he has made the ultimate decision to pardon Combs. Of course, that was a very high-profile case, would certainly be a controversial pardon as well, given the fact that trial was such a high-level trial related to the treatment of women in Combs' life. So we are watching to see, but at this point we are told that the president has not made a decision. He is only considering that at this point.
I honestly wonder if Trump even looked into any of this or actually follows the news, because seriously, what the hell? Or maybe after being around Epstein in the past, hearing claims about Diddy allegedly having children present at his parties doesn't seem nearly as shocking to him as it does to the rest of us. I don't know, maybe wealthy and powerful people have an entirely different definition of what the hell than ordinary people do, because mine stopped working about 12 Diddy stories ago.
You believe this 6-year-old boy was once a guest at Diddy's infamous white party? The disgraced mogul has his arm draped around a young Justin Liptowski back in 1999. Justin is now 31 and tells Inside Edition about taking that photo.
He put his arm around me in an uncomfortable way, close to areas that you shouldn't as a grown man.
He recalls what he saw at the party.
So I remember and topless women. That's the two main things that I remember.
So, how'd he end up there? Well, his father, David Allen, was Diddy's photographer, snapping pictures of partygoers in the Hamptons. Justin's mom, Maya, was also there. She says the party was family-friendly at first, but then turned raunchy.
People were getting high. There were girls swimming topless, young-looking girls that were, not dressed. We moved to another part of the house so that he wouldn't be exposed to what was going on.
In later years, Diddy implemented a curfew for children.
The kids have like an hour left. So get extra comfortable because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to.
I think he's a...
And it turns out that while we're all sitting around waiting for the Epstein files to finally reveal something interesting, apparently there's a whole Diddy archive as well. Thousands of videos supposedly featuring celebrities connected to him. Because apparently a little black book wasn't enough for this era, we needed the director's cut. And Jaguar gave us a small preview of what she claims is hidden inside that collection.
I saw Paris Hilton's tape, A Night in Paris, was in his studio. The first time I saw Mary J. Blige being gang raped on camera at Death Row after hours was in the studio. Why would all of this illicit be in a place where music is supposed to be being created, energy, why would all of that be happening? Why would these things be hitting there before they make it out there to the world if it wasn't working hand in hand to begin with?
Now, there's a viral video going around where Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre are sitting there, and they were on TRL, and Dr. Dre's like, hey...
I don't know why ain't nobody talking about when Carson Daly went to them Diddy parties. Because Carson Daly did go to them Diddy parties. No different than Ashton Kutcher.
Damn. Okay.
No different than Hype Williams. Why don't nobody want to talk about Hype Williams? Usually if I send a shout out at somebody, people start really kicking things up. But it's almost as if Hype is like living under some wheat germ grass or some under Russell Simmons' ass in Bali. Why can't, is it time to put...
But I want to know what you think about all of this, especially Jean's story. Is it complete nonsense, or is it another one of those stories everyone laughs off until 5 years later, when suddenly nobody's laughing anymore? And at what point do we stop calling the messenger crazy and start asking why his stories keep aging so well? Let me know your thoughts below.